All right. All right, we're live. I'm a minute early. I'm always fixing my hair right before I start because I don't know what to do when I'm nervous. Just play with my hair. To anyone who watches the recorded version of this, just skip by this part. Just for my own sanity, just move on through. All right. For anyone else who's watching, I also got my nails done. Oh, wait, wrong hand. Purple. All right, I got two people here. All right, Janet says she's here. I don't know who the other watcher is, but feel free to comment and say hello. I'm going to put a little comment in here as well. All right, one thing too I'll say about the video is if you're new to Facebook Live, make sure when you're watching the Facebook Live that you're as current on the live as possible, because sometimes when you start, it puts you at a couple seconds behind or 20, 30 seconds behind. So push your little sliding thing at the bottom to be as up to date as you can be. All right. We're getting there. Couple more minutes, maybe 5 more minutes. Oh, I got another viewer. Hello, number 3. Feel free to say hello in the chat so I know who you are, but no pressure if you want to stay hidden. That's okay. Oh man, I had the most, I'm blurry. I had such an intense day at work today. To put into perspective, okay, I hope this blurriness gets better. To put into perspective how busy it was at work today, normally my team of 4 people does 4 emergency calls a day, and today we did 900. 900. I didn't even have time to drink water. All right, one sec. I just really want to get this blurry situation better. I'm coming in and out. I don't know if that's making it better. Hello, Sam. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. All right. All right, we'll get started in just a couple minutes. Not sure. Oh, there it is. Better. Okay, I won't move. All right, let me know how your guys' day was. Tell me in the chat. Was it an awesome day? Was it a terrible day? Mediocre? Give me something. I want to know. How was your day? $900 calls. Yeah, 900 calls. 900 too many. Let me tell you that. We were all very exhausted by the end of that 12 hours. Let me tell you that. I literally couldn't drink water or eat food. So if I'm a little bit off, a little bit weird today, it's because I am a little bit exhausted. That's okay. Showing up for you guys. All right. Hi to the new people. Feel free to say hello in the chat so I know who's here. I know who's on the lives. I'm glad that you had a good day, Janet. Very happy to hear that. Hope you're feeling good and it's not too cold over where you are. I know in Ontario it's definitely not minus 40 like it is here. And it's going to be extra, extra cold tonight. It's minus 40 without the wind chill. All right, guys. I'm just going to give it 1 or 2 more minutes and then we will be on our cool topic for today. So if you don't have a paper and pen, please go get one right now. If you don't have one, literally just get up, go get one and come back because you're going to really want it. Hi, Jen, and hi, Ursula. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad to have you here. All right. Janice says it's definitely colder where I am. Yeah, really cold. It's just like aggressively cold, and it's been for so long. I feel like it's been for like 2 weeks, just like this consistent minus 40. Like, whew, man, my truck almost did not start today, and I was pretty stressed. Sam said she slept all day. That sounds real nice. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about my 900 calls, but I'm extra jealous of your sleeping today with that. All right, guys, I'm going to get started on our presentation. Please feel free at any point of this chat to just jump in, okay? It's always better to present to people who are talking, so don't feel embarrassed. Just jump in. And again, on your bottom of your screen of YouTube, feel free to always pull it to like the most recent, the most live, so that we're not lagging from each other. Sam says, I'll be pulling an all-nighter tonight because I have 4 assignments due by Friday. Okay. I'm a little bit less jealous of you now. I'm a little bit less jealous. I like it. But that's the grind, girl. Keep it up and get that assignment in. Proud of you. Okay, I'm going to jump into our presentation. Cool? All right, so today we're going to actually do a pretty fun topic. We're going to be talking about picking out our goal body, which seems fun, might seem a little bit scary to some, but I promise it's not as bad as you think. So we'll just do a little housekeeping at first. Okay, the last 2 days we've been going through the biggest lie in fitness, which is that happiness is not from being thin. The second day was how to stop failing immediately. So we went through the different types of failure personas, how we fail, why we fail, and the first steps to breaking out of that cycle. Today, we're going to pick out our goal body. And we're going to talk all about goals in different ways, how to make them, what's right for us and our body and all that kind of stuff. So let's jump in. Oh, wait, one more. For all you lovely ladies who are showing up, coming to the lives, doing the work, I see you, okay? And I have one winner at the end of the week who is going to win the full transformation experience one-on-one coaching program with me. $1,500 value, pretty solid value that you're going to get for free. So I'm excited. One of you for sure that's watching live every day is going to be getting it, and I will raffle it. I'll do it on video so you guys know it's fair. Okay, so today, let's talk about goal bodies, all right? So put in the chat to me if you have ever thought of a goal body or like had a picture in your mind of a goal body, or if you just never think about it. Tell me which one you are. Definitely have one or don't think about it. Let me know in the chat. Awesome prize. I would say so. Yes. I'll say that I'm definitely the kind of person who does plan to have goal bodies, and I've even been the kind of person who like makes like my screensaver on my phone a goal body, so I like picture it. Sam says definitely yes. Okay, so you're a woman like me who visually has had that idea before. So when we have goal bodies, it can be really easy to get kind of like emotionally, distraught about them, because a lot of times we'll think to ourselves, oh, that's not possible. Sam says, my proportions, just smaller measurements. That's a good way to do it. I like that already. All right, let's go in a little bit more. So I have a small prediction about your goals, about your goal bodies that you guys have in your head. So when you're first starting a fitness journey or jumping back into a fitness journey, usually what people want is, change in their body, change in their life, but not like crazy change. Okay. They don't want to be bone thin and they don't want to be like built like a bodybuilder. They want to have a more toned body. They want to have some muscle definition. They want to feel happy in a bikini. They want to feel sexy naked, flatter stomach, bigger bum. Would you guys say that that is true? Is that kind of like when you think about your goal body, is that what you're picturing? Just like a relaxed, thinner, more sporty version of yourself? Or am I totally off? Tell me that too. I can totally be off. But that's my prediction. All right. Janet says, a goal of what body I want. I do have a goal body. I think I know what you mean, but okay. And Ursula says, definitely thinks about it. Okay. So Ursula says 100. And Sam says, my bum is definitely big enough as it is. Yeah, I like that. Sometimes we all have pretty big bums, I'd say. I feel like this group of ladies is like a big bum kind of group of ladies, and I like that. But I think we all just want a little lift in our life. You know what I'm saying? I think gravity sometimes is a little bit rude and just takes us down a notch, and we just want to lift her up. Yes? Can I get an amen on that one? All right. So are these goals a problem? Wanting to be toned, wanting to be a little bit smaller, wanting to look good in a bikini. I'm going to say first off, no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having that type of desire, okay? All of our desires are valid, and if it's something that you want to do with your life, that's totally Okay. Janet says amen. Hell yeah. Okay. So these desires are valid, but the problem I have with these types of goals is that there's no way to tell if you've achieved them. And you're probably thinking to yourself, like, oh, one day I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to have a flatter stomach and I'm going to be more toned and I'm going to feel sexy naked and I'm just going to know that I got there. The problem is that you never will have that moment. Or if you do have that moment, it's so long into the game. You've waited so long to be able to tell yourself, yeah, I look good and I've reached my goals. I feel confident in a bikini. The thing is, confidence can't be measured. Toned can't be measured. Okay, and we're going to really get into my whole spiel on measuring. But every single time a woman comes to me and says, here are my goals, my goal is to be toned, I just shake my head and I'm like, let's get way better goals than being toned. From this moment on, I want all of you to know that if you ever say to me, I want to be toned, I'm just going to end the conversation. Okay. You've had your warning. We're going to have better goals than being toned from now on. All right. So these types of goals are really a mental trap. Do I feel like my stomach's flat enough yet to say that my stomach's flat? Am I experiencing confidence? Like, what does confidence even feel like? How do I know that I've gotten there? Is this toned when you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, am I toned yet? And here's the problem with this is without goals and finish lines, we reduce our opportunity to celebrate and to have wins. Okay. If we never allow ourselves to say, hey, I made it, we never get to celebrate. And I really believe that celebrating is a humongous part of fitness that so many women are missing out on. And the problem is if we never celebrate our wins, if we're never allowing ourselves to say, I did this, I made it, eventually you're going to grow to kind of hate fitness because it's never ending marathon that doesn't have a finish line. You're going to get exhausted from it. Fitness is going to feel like a chore. You're going to think that fitness is unconquerable. And what I really want is for you to love the journey, to enjoy the journey, because when you enjoy the journey, you're going to stick to it. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of fitness people say how much they love the gym or that they're addicted to the gym or that their fitness is their lifestyle. And that's really what the mindset I'm trying to get you to is this isn't just this crash diet. I'm going to lose 20 pounds and I'm going to go back to ice cream. No, you're going to find a way for fitness to be part of your life and experiencing joy at the same time. And I promise that is possible. Okay, so we need a clear and visible finish line to define success. So in this moment right now, I want you to start thinking about how you want your body to look. Is it long and lean? Is it curvy and hourglass? Is it all bum? Is it all shoulders? What do you want to look like? Okay. I just want you to really think about it. Maybe even jot a few things down. And one thing I really want to say is don't judge yourself. Don't say, oh, well, that's stupid. Or oh, no one wants to bang bones. No judgment. What do you want to look like? From an honest, true place, if you could snap your fingers and look like anything when no one else is looking, what does that person look like? Okay, I'm going to give you guys a minute to write that down for me, even just a couple notes, and then we'll start diving a little bit deeper. But just take a moment to start writing that down. Pardon me. Okay, it's so dry in here. I've got a forever cough. Okay. So when we're talking about bodies, I want to start giving you guys a little bit of new vocabulary to use when describing bodies. Because I'm certain all of you have heard the typical body shapes of I'm a pear, I'm an hourglass, I'm a diamond, I'm a whatever. We're not going to use those words anymore. Some new words I'm going to give you are going to describe how hard you look, how muscular you look, how much body fat is on your body. So sometimes it can be hard to understand what you want your body to look like without just having a picture on hand for reference. Okay, so we've all done that where we've like had a picture, we know what that picture looks like, we want to look like that. But I want you to start developing your own picture, your own idea of your body. So here are a couple words that you can use to describe density. So how hard you are. So sometimes you can describe yourself or your goal as hard and dense muscle tissue. What that looks like is kind of like this bottom left over here. You can see visible lines. You can see that there's a deep, thick muscle on her body, but it's hard muscle. If you look to the picture beside her, so I was talking first about the pink shorts. Over here on the yellow shorts, this woman has what I would describe as expanded or enlarged muscles. If you want to get really fancy, it's called hypertrophy, where your muscles have expanded to give you a bigger look. And the thing about her body is it's not as hard. There's not as many lines. She's a little bit bigger. She's got a little bit more muscle, but she's not as lean. She's not as hard. And your eye will get better at looking at these things the more we see them and the more we compare them. And I just want to say right now, I'm not comparing one better than the other at all. All bodies are good bodies, truly from the bottom of my heart. And we all aspire to have a different one, and that's totally okay. So some other words you can describe are soft. And again, soft is not a negative word that I'm using at all. It's just a fact word, okay? So up top, these two ladies up here are a little bit softer. You don't see those lines. You don't see the hardness. You don't see the density from the girls at the bottom, okay? Another thing we can do is describe shape. So another thing we can say about our bodies is symmetrical. Everything is in line. It is even, all right? One thing you can say about your body is upper body dominant. The bigger, more dramatic part of your body is your upper body, or lower body dominant. So as you can see kind of in this top left picture, the woman in a yellow bathing suit, she is lower body dominant, but also a bit hourglass, right? And also some people don't want a super dramatic body. Some people just want to be a little bit more even everywhere. And I would say that's more the top right, okay? The other thing about body types that I'll say is there's different amounts of work that goes into these different types of body, okay? And not everyone wants to put in that level of work. Let's just be clear. Some people love going to the gym 4 hours a day. Some people don't. And when you're thinking about your goal body, I want you to think about how much time and effort do I really care to put into this? And people will have a varying degree of how much effort they're willing to put. So let me know in the chat, are any of these descriptive words that I'm saying new descriptive words to you? Have you guys heard all of these before, or is this like a new way to describe bodies, some of these words that I'm saying? Don't be shy. Hit me with the comments. Hit me. We're all friends now. It's day 3. I know there's a lag though. Just gonna check. All right. Oh, here we go. All right. She says newer ways to describe. Yeah, I'm hoping I can give you a couple new words. Really want you to take away how hard your body is and the different types of shapes that your body is. Okay. Sam says the upper and lower body dominant is new. Cool. So I would really describe my body as lower body dominant. It's very, very easy for me to put muscle on down there versus my upper body. I have to work a lot harder for that. So I want you to also think about, if you ever have worked out before, where does your body love to put muscle on? Right? Because if your body loves to put muscle on top and all you want is for, muscle on the bottom, you're going to have to work a lot harder for that body type. Okay. So, and anything is fine. I can grow my upper body way bigger, but it's easier for me to grow my lower body. And knowing that allows me to make a better goal. All right, moving on. Thank you guys so much for answering. Okay, so I want you to throw out the pear body shape. I want you to throw out the hourglass body shape. I want you to throw out all of those things that you've heard a million times. They're cool. We all know who we are based on a shape or a fruit. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit more sciencey because I want you to leave this week knowing more than you did coming in, okay? So in an actual science textbook, these are the 3 basic human body types. And I hope this is new for you guys. So we have the endomorph, the mesomorph, and the ectomorph body types. Despite what it might feel like at times, you're not completely bound to one category or one body type. Okay, your lifestyle, your genetics, your history, your training style all play a part in how you look, and you can definitely change it over time. So again, your body is never a curse. I never want you to think I live in this body, it's impossible to change it. This is who I am. That's not true. That said, many of us have certain tendencies toward a certain body type, and we kind of live in that body generally naturally. Okay. Just look at the chat here. Sam says, I like baked butts and I cannot lie. Yeah, girl. Yes. Hell yeah. Who doesn't? All right. So let's dive into each one. And when I have reached the one that you think that you are, I want you to write it down. Okay. Because I want you to feel really sciencey when you tell your friends, I'm an endomorph, I'm an ectomorph, instead of saying you're pear-shaped. Okay. So an endomorph. An endomorph tends to gain weight and keep it on more so than other people. Their build is a little wider. They have a thicker rib cage, wider hips, and a little bit shorter limbs. They may have more muscle than either of the other body types, but they often struggle. Oops, 1 second. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just closed all my screens. Wrong button. I'm good. All right. They may have more muscle than the other body types, but they may struggle to gain it without also gaining body fat at the same time. Okay. And I know a lot of us are going to think that this is us, and maybe it is, but keep listening. So if you ever feel like you gain 5 pounds simply by walking near a donut shop, this may be you. You may be an endomorph. These are people who put on weight, put on body fat easily. Okay. Their metabolisms are naturally a bit slower. These are the people we would describe as big boned, right? Just naturally a stockier build. So this definitely doesn't mean that an endomorph can't be healthy. They can be every bit as strong as healthy and capable as the other 2 body types. Okay. And they may actually have some strength advantages due to their additional size and muscle mass. So again, this is not a death sentence. This is just a body type. But when they decide to work out and they decide to get lean, it's a little bit harder for these people to lose the body fat rather than put on the muscle. So when we're training this type of body type, usually you're going to benefit from using moderate weights and maintaining a relatively fast training pace. Okay. So this type of person, if you lift really, really, really heavy weights all the time, you're going to get bigger faster than the other body types. Okay. And if that's your thing, sweet. If you want to get huge, if you want to get bigger, cool. Lift really heavy weights. But if you want to live in a more normal, more athletic, sporty body, kind of like we talked about at the beginning, you're going to benefit from lifting heavy, but that's not your 100% focus. You're going to be lifting heavy, but you're also going to be training to be sweating, and you're going to do some cardio, and you're going to really, really make sure that that heart is pumping. Okay, so that you're burning the fat at the same time. So the really important thing for this person is the food. Okay, your body, and as an endomorph, is going to put on muscle easily, but losing the body fat is going to be the hard part. So your main focus is going to have to be a kitchen. All right. Is anyone immediately oh, this is me? Because I remember the first time that I heard this, I was like, oh, I think this is me. But it wasn't. Okay, I'm going to talk about the next body type. We all know someone like this. They're tall. They're lanky. They've got long arms, long legs, long torsos. Their shoulders are narrow. Their hips are narrow. And man, they can survive off Skittles and junk food and never gain weight. And, I wouldn't say we hate them, but we're jealous. We're a little bit jealous of them because we have all met these people and we've all wished that we had those metabolisms. If this is you, I don't hate you. I'm just playing. But having that endless metabolism is so awesome for a lot of reasons. So an ectomorph tends to be thin and struggles to gain weight in either body fat or muscle. So this is kind of the downside of that really super fast metabolism, is that they have a really hard time putting on any kind of size. If they want to be bigger in any way, it takes so much work for their muscles to grow and expand. So they can eat piles of food and stay looking the same, even when trying hard to put on muscle. So in the fitness world, we usually call these people hard gainers. We cannot get them to gain weight no matter what we try. So again, long, lean builds. Being an ectomorph doesn't mean that you're doomed to be weak, though. Not saying that you're weak. You can still be remarkably strong and still be at every bit as fit and healthy as someone who looks larger and more muscular. But if you want to gain weight, you better be prepared to eat like a lot of food. Okay, these type of people have to eat 2 to 3 times the normal person's amount of food to get bigger. Which you're like, oh wow, that must be so hard. But when it's like chicken breast and broccoli, like if you're eating that much, whew, that's a lot of chicken breast and broccoli. So how to train this body type is to eat a lot of protein and a lot of carbs, and to regularly lift very, very heavy with good form, and not to do a ton of aerobic activities. Okay, so just because you're thin doesn't mean you're healthy. It doesn't just equal healthy. So you still need to take diet and fitness seriously. We're not going to be on a Skittles diet. This type of person is just going to have to really, really focus at the gym and eat a significant amount of food. All right. Last body type is the mesomorph. So mesomorphs have a middle of the road build that takes the best of both worlds. Okay, they tend to have wider shoulders but narrower waists, relatively thinner joints, and something called round muscle bellies. So nice, big, round, muscular areas. Okay, so in short, if you're a mesomorph, you have a natural tendency to be fit and relatively muscular, even when doing light exercise. Does this mean you can do nothing, eat everything, and get away with it forever? Definitely not. That's not what I'm saying. And you're not necessarily healthier than the other two body types either, but you may be able to bounce back from being out of shape a little bit easier than the other two body types because your body likes to put on muscle. All right. So how to train this body type is lift moderate weights on a regular basis and engage in aerobic activities regularly. So what that means is we're going to lift 5 days a week. We're going to lift weights all the time, but we're also going to do a lot of cardio as well and really keep it kind of even. So this person doesn't really need to worry about getting bulky because more likely they're going to gain muscle than they are fat. But again, they are not invincible. These are just people. We're all just people. Okay. So tell me in the chat, do you see yourself in one of these three, or are you still maybe not 100% sure which one you are? You don't have to say which one you are, but do you think you know which one you are after going through these? I'll give you a minute. And if you do know which one, I want you to write it down. So I'll say that I'm actually a mesomorph, but I've trained myself to be, because I have underlying muscle now, it's a little bit easier for me to kind of bounce back from taking time off or taking longer periods of rest, eating off track, because my body has more muscle on it. It stays more muscular. But that's another conversation for another time about holding muscle. All right, excuse me, guys. Okay. All right. So Jan says she thinks she knows which one she is. All right, perfect. I'm glad that I was able to kind of clarify that for you guys. Good. Pardon me, man, these coughs. Okay. All right. So one more here. Sam says, I think mesomorph. I think you're a mesomorph too, Sam, actually. Good one. Nice. Oh, I got another one. Ectomorph. I got you. I gotcha. I like how many versions of that word we're doing, but you're good. Thank you so much for answering. All right. So here's one thing that a lot of people don't know is when you're getting fit, everyone says to me, all right, I want to lose weight, I want to lose fat, and I want to gain muscle at the same time. And like, of course, Everyone wants that. But it is actually not possible. And I'll put a little asterisk beside that because I'll come back to it. It's not possible to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. You can't. It's really one or the other. And it's like the biggest pill to swallow in fitness. Now, there is definitely times where you can do both, okay, where both will happen, okay? But that is usually only going to happen at the very beginning of a fitness journey. So if you start fitness for the first 6 months to, I'd say, 8 months, you can do both for the first 6 months. And then after that, you cross this bridge, this line where you have to choose one or the other. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the term bulking or cutting. And what that is referring to is a stage of your fitness journey where you're putting on muscle, or a stage of your fitness journey where you're losing body fat. I'm going to repeat this one more time. You can't do both at once. And if anyone tells you that you can, they are not telling you the truth. They are lying. Your body can't. The only other way that it can is when you take performance enhancing drugs and medications, okay? And again, asterisk, after the first 6 months. Your body, when you first start working out, can do both at once, okay? Until you've hit that point. And a lot of times that point comes, you'll know right away that you've hit it, all right? What was working and working and working for so long stops working, and you hit your first plateau. And that's where having a coach is really important, because that plateau makes you feel crazy because you're like, man, like this was working. I don't know why this isn't working anymore. And that's usually a time where people start going to a little bit more extremes or doing things a little bit crazy because they want to get that result again that they had at the beginning. So having a coach around the 6 month mark is super important for both your mental and physical health. All right. Okay. Did anyone know that? Did people know that you can't lose fat and gain muscle at the same time? Is this a new thing that I'm teaching you, or have you always known this? Definitely hit me in the chats with that, because I find that most people don't know that, but I'd love to hear. Okay. I'm going to keep moving, but I'll answer the comments as they come in. So if you want to know where to start, all right, Jan puts, no, she didn't know that. Well, now you know. I'm glad. Okay. New to me, Ursula said. All right, cool. So now my favorite thing is to give you guys a bullshit detector. Anytime you see any kind of fitness ad, any kind of diet pill that says gain muscle and lose fat at the same time, they are lying to you. It is not science. All right. And science, I believe in science. I hope you guys do too. Science is the law here. So, all right. Going forward, when you need to decide, all right, am I going to do fat loss or am I going to do muscle gain? Like, where should I focus? Right? The 30% rule is this. If you are above 30% body fat, you should always focus first on fat loss, okay? Because when we are above 30% body fat, our body isn't in the healthiest state, our heart isn't in the healthiest state, and the weight on our joints and on our muscles, on our limbs, all that kind of thing, it's heavy for our body, right? So if we can get that body fat down, the fitness journey is just going to be a lot easier, and it's going to make you have a lot healthier of a journey. All right. If you are under 30% body fat and you don't have the muscle density and shape that you want, I would for sure start proceeding with muscle building. Because the cool thing about having more muscle is it actually raises your metabolism. And what I mean by that is it takes more calories per day to sustain more muscle. So the amount of muscle I have on my body, which is more than most people, allows me to eat a lot more than most people without gaining body fat. So the more muscle we have, the more we can eat in general, which is really cool for certain body types that, want to eat more. but not as good for the the thinner body type that I was describing before. So I want you to tell me, do you guys know, you don't have to tell me what your body fat percentage is, but do you know what your body fat percentage is? Or is this totally a concept that you're not really certain of? Because I can drop you guys a link to learn how to find that really easily. All right. All right. I will probably put that link. I'll put it actually in the Facebook group. I'm just going to write that down really quick. It's called like a body fat calculator. And then you guys can have that so you'll know if the 30% rule is applying to you for fat loss or for muscle gain. All right. All right. I'm going to keep moving. So when we're talking about goals, one thing I really, really like to define is controllable goals and uncontrollable goals. All right, Ashley put in the chat, she has no idea what it is. Perfect. I'm going to send you that link and you're going to know right away what your body fat is. And I know there's some discrepancy about the body fat calculators and how accurate they are. For sure, they're not 100%. The only way you can measure your body fat 100% is by holding on and putting your feet on a pedestal and having an electric current run through you and measure your body fat. Okay? Your scale at home, if you have a body fat calculator on your scale at home, all it's doing is measuring the fat in your calves because it can't send beams that much higher. So if your body fat scale at home is telling you, oh, you're 30 or 40, it's just your calves, girl, just your calves. All right. So fun little fact on that. Okay. So when we're making our goals, we want to make them controllable. And that's why I really never recommend your number one goal be a weight goal. A weight goal is cool because it is measurable. And I will get into why I love measurable goals, but your weight is not actually in your control. You don't get to choose what your weight is. You can put in tons of work to try and get your weight lower, but you don't control it. Okay? Other things that are uncontrollable are your score on a test, winning something, being picked for a role, getting a promotion. We can work hard for those things. We can push for those things, but we can't control that outcome. And so if we make a goal something that we can't control, like that's a pretty crappy feeling because maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't, no matter how hard we work, right? So for example, an uncontrollable goal is I want to be chosen to be the lead in a musical. I can practice really hard. I can, apply for the musical. I can do the best audition, but someone else picks it. I don't get to pick if I'm the lead in the musical. Other uncontrollable goals are I want to get 100% on my English essay. You can study for English. You can work so hard on that English essay, but you don't control that mark. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys kind of feel me on the uncontrollable issue that I'm describing? So on the flip side, controllable goals, all right? How many times you do something, how fast you do something, the completion of a task, arriving at a destination. Those are controllables. For example, my goal is to try out for a musical. I'm in control of showing up and doing my audition at a musical. I just want to say I don't do musicals, but I just thought this was a good goal scenario. So trying out for a musical is in my control, and that is a good goal because no matter what, I can make sure that that happens. I can arrive at that destination and I can complete that task. Another goal is to study for 4 hours for my English test, for my English assignment, right? So I control how many hours I study for. I control, how often I do it, that kind of thing. So if we want to bring it to fitness, which we're all here for, if I want to lose 20 pounds, which I talk about a lot of people want to lose 20 pounds, okay? Instead of making the ultimate goal losing 20 pounds, which is, it could be an awesome byproduct, Instead, maybe I'll make my goal, I want to be at the gym 5 days a week because I control showing up to that gym 5 days a week. Or I want to make a goal of drinking 2 liters of water a day because I control how much water I put in. All right. I want you to start thinking right now about controllable and uncontrollable goals. Has anyone ever made an uncontrollable goal before? Because I have, and it didn't work out, and it sucked. I made a goal to win a show, but again, you can't control if someone judges you as first place. Instead, my goal should have been go to the show, show up, do your best, go to the show as the goal. So tell me, has anyone else ever made an uncontrollable goal? I'm certain someone here has. Certain. Lay it on me. Oh, man. This chat being delayed, it's rough, but that's okay. I'm here. I'm with you. All right. I'm going to keep moving a little bit, but as they come in, I will stop and answer them. Okay. Janet says, yes, I am sure that I have. Sam says, so many. Ashley says, yes, to reach a weight to be a certain date. Those weight goals, they get you. Because they seem so good, weight goals. Because it's like, oh, I can measure that. Oh, I know I'm going to get there. I'll know when I achieve it. We've all made a weight goal. I'm certain every single one of us has made a weight goal. I'm going to lose 20 pounds by this date. But weight, we just can't control weight. So again, weight can be a really, really cool byproduct of our goal, but not the ultimate goal. So thank you guys all for answering. Ursula, yes. Sam, yes, we've all done this, right? And it feels like shit when we don't achieve it, right? It's like, oh, I set out this goal and then I didn't get there. So Sam says the biggest one was probably getting into Ryerson. Yes, goals like that suck because we don't control it. All right, thank you guys so much for sharing about that. Yes, totally. Okay, so when we make goals, possibly you guys have all heard of SMART goals before. Maybe you haven't, so I'm going to go through it. So when we're making a goal, the best way to design a goal is to make it specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and with a timeline. All right. So specific, what exactly are you trying to achieve? So instead of saying, I want to look more toned, what are you trying to accomplish? I want to be able to run 5K. I want to have, lost 3 inches around my stomach, that kind of thing. What more specifically? Not broad things like I want to be smarter. It's like, no, like what specifically do you want to achieve, right? Measurable is huge. Okay. How do I know that I've achieved it? What quantity can I give it? All right. It can be measured in so many different things. Amount of times I've been to the gym, liters of water, all right, inches, things like that. Inches that you're jumping higher, times in a run, how much faster you can run. Okay? There's so many ways you can measure a goal. Attainable, okay? Can you actually achieve it? Is it possible? And when I say attainable, I'm not trying to shit on your parade at all. But attainable is one of those things where it's like, is it actually possible? Like if you're saying to yourself, like, I'm just going to eat bananas all day and I'm not going to eat anything else and I'm going to lose 20 pounds. No, you're not just going to eat bananas all day. That's not attainable. That's not realistic. That's not possible. Okay. Or maybe you're going to say, I'm going to swim across the ocean. You're not going to swim across the ocean, right? So make sure that your goal makes sense for you, okay? And it can be a big goal. I could make it a goal to climb Mount Everest if I really wanted to, right? But I'm not going to make a goal to walk across the desert alone. You guys see what I'm saying? Does this make sense? Realistic is the second component of that. So let's say I was making a goal that I want to climb Mount Everest. Is that realistic for me right now in my current circumstances? Okay, so we've decided it is attainable, it is possible. But does it make sense for me right now? Do I have the money to buy all the gear? Do I have the time to practice, hiking all the time? Do I have friends that will do it with me? Do I have the ability to take the time off of work? Right? When we're setting goals, we do need to think if they're realistic. All right. So it can be all sorts of things. If you want to run a marathon, can you afford to enter a marathon race? Can you afford the supplements and the food? Is this realistic for you right now? Right? And I want you to think about that when you're making your goal. Because a lot of times we kind of skip by that. We're like, yeah, it'll be fine. I'll figure it out. And we're not always being super realistic. I know I've been this way a lot. So I'm kind of talking from my own experience. Me and realistic, we have a moment often. So the last one is having a timeline. And timelines, oh my gosh, especially for certain types of people, are really, really important. So if I want to say that I want to, climb Mount Everest, when? When am I climbing Mount Everest? Am I climbing Mount Everest in 1 year from now on January, the 5th, 2023? Am I climbing Mount Everest in 60 days from now? Having that timeline makes your goal real. And until you have a timeline, I will say that your goal is not real. It's not real yet until you have decided when it will happen. And that doesn't mean that your goal can't change. Sometimes goals change. Sometimes goals have to mold and transform, and we have to say, you know what, I need an extra 30 days. But then you give yourself that secondary timeline, right? You always have the timeline. Tell me, guys, are you putting timelines on your goals right now? Have you been doing that consistently? When you think to yourself, oh, I really want to do this thing, are you putting a timeline on it? Tell me, yes or no? Because I think from my experience of coaching people, not a lot of people are putting timelines on it. They're saying, I want to get toned. And then they just try and get toned. So are you guys putting timelines on your goals? I know Sam is from all her schoolwork because she doesn't have a choice, but the rest of you. All right. Jen says, not really. Yeah. Most people don't, right? We say, oh, I want to drink more water. When? How much? How do you know, right? Or I want to take vitamins, or I want to start going for walks. When, right? Ashley says, yes, but I think that is what makes me give up when I don't achieve it. Ooh, interesting. Maybe you're putting an unrealistic timeline on yourself. Maybe think of that. So it is an interesting one. Makes you give up when you don't achieve it. Yeah. It can definitely be really hard on the confidence to set a goal and not achieve it. And I totally hear that. Totally. So I think for you, the next time you're making a goal, Ashley, to give yourself more time than you think and give yourself more wiggle room for just being a human. Okay. So a lot of times we make goals for our perfect situation, our perfect scenario, where it's like, okay, if I'm on level 100, killing it every day, yes, I can achieve it by this point. But if I'm a human in between, when will I really achieve it? And a lot of times we have a hard time giving ourselves that extra couple weeks that we need to kind of flail through life as we do sometimes. All right, I'm going to move on. So I am talking a lot today. All right, so one other thing that I want you guys to do is to think about your life. Okay, so I'm going to start again. My mouth is not working. I did this workshop one time with this transformational psychologist who was incredible. And she had this exercise where you need to think of your life. If there was no time limit, no money issue, what would your perfect life look like if someone took a picture of you in it? All right. And I want you to really think about that. If someone could take one picture and in that picture, that's your perfect life. What is in that photo? What do you look like? What are you doing? What is around you? What are you feeling? What are you wearing? What energy do you have? And it's really an interesting concept to be able to put all of those goals, all of those things that you want into one photograph. And it took me a couple hours to really decide on what would go in that Photoshop. But I did come up with it, and I'm actually going to share it early tomorrow morning. And I want you guys to think about it tonight so that if you want to make a collage as well, you totally can. All right, we've got some things in here. Sam says, I need to give myself more time on estimating my homework. Yes, we all do. Totally. Jen says, I think for me, it falls under the motivation versus discipline we learned about yesterday. Yeah, that's a hard thing to learn. It's a hard thing to master. Sam says, lots and lots of pets. Amen to that. In my perfect life snapshot, I've got my dogs, I've got horses in the background, all the animals. I'm into that. So you don't have to think about your whole perfect dream life right this moment, but tonight or tomorrow, I really, really want you to try and lay it out and really, really think about it. Okay. And I'll show you again. I'll post my collage of what mine is. So the cool thing about having that snapshot or having that vision of your highest self is you can kind of pull energy from that version of you, right? What would my highest self version, like how would I talk to myself? Well, what kind of choices would that person make? Would she be making like bold money moves, or would she be saving money? Like what kind of person is my highest self? And when you can really imagine the choices they'd make and the way that they would talk, you can start to embody that. And that is kind of the power of manifestation without getting too like woo-woo about it. But when we can imagine and picture who we want to be, we can start to be them. All right. So I'll leave that for right now because I want to wrap up for you guys and not take up too much of your time tonight. But I wanted to bring it all together for you. All right. So if you've got a paper and pen, write it down. Here's where I need you to be writing. So step one is, what do you want to look like? All right. And I want to give yourself some room for under that question. I want you to understand how your goal body differs from your current body. What's different about it? Your goal body, what does it look like? And I want you to start using different words than you've used before. How dense is your body? How soft is your body? What kind of shapes does your body give? Upper body dominant, lower body dominant. What do you look like? Okay. Step two is, what is your body type? So we're going to go back to that, mesomorph, ectomorph. If you can remember, no problem if you can't. It was a little bit more sciencey than we're used to, but I know you guys are really smart, so I wanted to bring it in for you. So I want you to write down what your body type is. Is this body type, is it easy to lose weight? Is it hard to lose weight? What is your body doing? Is it put on tons of muscle? Does it never put on muscle? Write that down, okay? Step three, what is your immediate goal? Is it fat loss or muscle gain? Where do you need to start? All right, so again, if you're above that 30% body fat, we're going to be losing body fat first. If you're below 30% body fat, you can probably start with gaining muscle. All right. Step four is, what controllable thing can you focus on to help you achieve your goal body? And I want you to get really focused on controllables. And every time you hear your brain say something uncontrollable, I want you to be like, no, controllable. Okay. Because so many of us make uncontrollable goals and then we're so disappointed at the end. As we've all talked about before, every time we've made a weight goal, every time we've said, I want to get 100%. All right. Step number five is, what is your SMART goal? So I know I'm giving you guys a lot of homework tonight, but this is really where you kind of take that big step up, is when you can get really laser focused on, what the hell am I trying to achieve? Where am I going with this journey? Because toned, I just want to get toned. We're not doing that anymore. So what is your SMART goal? What is the first goal, right? And I want you to do it in order, okay? Like I'm laying them out here, because it'll get easier and easier to decide what is your SMART goal when you know what control you have, what direction you're going, and what you want your body to look like. All right, so Just like a couple examples of SMART goals is I want to train to compete a race, a 5K race by the end of the summer. So by August, something like that. Or I want to be going to the gym 3 days a week for at least 8 weeks. All right. Things like that. I want to try going to a spin class every single Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Things like that. I think we have some strange random people in our chat, but that's okay. We'll just let them put letters. No biggie. All right. And step number 6 is what is your dream life snapshot? And I really want you to think about having everything that you could want, your real whole dream life, in one picture. In one picture. What does that look like? All right. And then I want you to find a way to like pull energy from that really higher version of yourself, that like fully embodied version of you. Okay. All right. So homework for tonight is trying to get through those. If you want to do a little extra homework, I would say find a picture that does represent your goal body, which can be a little bit hard. If it's making you feel bad in any way, stop doing it immediately. Just stop doing it. This is just a fun thing so that you can get a little bit better idea of what you want to look like if you don't really know what that is yet. Because if you've just been telling yourself, I want to be toned, I want to be a little bit smaller than I am for years, we're going to need to get a little bit more of a visual on that. I know some of you are better at that than others, but now that we've had these conversations, what does my new goal body look like? All right. And I want you to start writing out that perfect dream life snapshot because that's fun. Who doesn't want to think about if they won the lottery, what their life would look like, right? All right, guys. That's it. That's all I got for you today. I'm not sure what you think, but I had fun with this session. I hope that it sparked some new ideas of thinking about your body. And I'm really excited to see what some of you guys come up with. So feel free, if you'd like, to email me any of the stuff we talked about today for me to go over, or if you have any goals that you want me to read through and help kind of like edit, I would love to do that. I'm a big nerd about goals. So send them to me, especially if you're new at goals. It may seem like a really easy thing to do, but it's not. It can be a lot harder than you think. All right. Jen says, thank you. Yes, of course. I'm so glad you liked it. And Sam, of course. I will see you guys all tomorrow. If you guys are free, I would love to see you again tomorrow at 7. Sam says, I'll miss tomorrow and Friday because of homework. True. Well, if you feel like procrastinating homework, I'll be here. And we will be having fun, but they will all be recorded. So Sam, you can watch the recordings at any point. All right. Okay, guys, I hope you have the best night, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys. Oops. Oh, I had Janet's comment up the whole time.